You aren't an introvert. You are a refugee from a world that is trying to colonize your soul. Most people view being alone as a failure, a sign that you are unwanted or unloved. But in the 16th century, a French nobleman realized that solitude isn't a lack of company. It is the only place where you can finally meet yourself. Strip away the social pressure and face the cold reality. If you do not learn to be happy alone, you will always be a slave to the opinions of people you don't even like. The logical solution to the exhaustion of modern life is not self-care. It is the construction of an internal back shop where the world is strictly forbidden to enter.
Michel de Montaigne was a wealthy politician who, at the age of 38, retired to a tower in his castle to do nothing but think and write. He realized that we spend our lives on stage, performing for an audience that doesn't care about us. He developed the philosophy of the arriére-boutique, or the back shop, a secret room in the mind where we keep our true thoughts, far away from our wives, our children, and our careers. Today, we are deconstructing Montaigne's method for mastering solitude. We are going to look at the 4 chapters of why you enjoy being alone and why your back shop is the only thing that can save your sanity. Chapter 1. The liberation from the performance. Montaigne argued that we are all masks and no face when we are around others. The moment someone else enters the room, your brain begins to monitor your posture, your tone, and your status. You are subconsciously performing a version of yourself that fits the social hierarchy. You enjoy being alone because it is the only time you are allowed to stop acting. In modern terms, this is the relief from high monitoring behavior. Social interaction requires massive cognitive bandwidth to process social cues and mirror others. The logical solution to social burnout is to realize that alone time is actually a period of neurological recovery. You aren't withdrawing. You are simply turning off the theater lights so the actor can finally rest. Chapter 2. The Sanctuary of the Back Shop. Montaigne's back shop was a mental space that no one else was allowed to own. He famously said, "We must reserve a back shop all our own, entirely free, in which to establish our true liberty." He believed that we should give our service to our family and our jobs, but we must never give them our essence. If you have no secret world, you have no soul. This is the psychological concept of internal sovereignty. When you enjoy being alone, it's often because you are cultivating your internal shop, your private interests, your strange thoughts, and your unedited opinions. The logical sign of a healthy mind is the ability to enjoy your own company, because you have built a world inside that is more interesting than the world outside. Chapter 3. The Cure for Borrowed Identity. Montaigne observed that the greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. When we are constantly in groups, we borrow our opinions from the tribe. We adopt the tastes, the fears, and the goals of the people around us. Solitude is the filter that separates your thoughts from their noise. In psychology, this is known as differentiation of self. The more fused you are with a group, the less identity you actually have. People who enjoy being alone are often those who are strong enough to face the void of their own silence, to see what actually remains. The logical solution to a lost sense of self is to stay in the back shop until the echoes of other people's voices finally die down. Chapter 4. The Mastery of the present self. The final chapter of Montaigne's method is the realization that we are our own best companion. Montaigne used his solitude to study his own contradictions. He didn't try to fix himself. He just watched himself. He realized that being alone is the only time we can achieve true mindfulness without the pressure of an external goal. You don't enjoy being alone because you hate people. You enjoy it because you love the truth. This is what modern research calls constructive solitude. It is the state where the brain switches from outward processing to default mode network activity, allowing for deep creativity and problem solving. The logical conclusion is that solitude is not a luxury. It is a biological requirement for any mind that wishes to remain original. The final verdict. Montaigne died at the age of 59, having written some of the most influential essays in history from his tower. He didn't change the world by being in the world. He changed it by stepping out of it. The backshop philosophy teaches us that your desire to be alone is not a defect. It is your soul's way of reclaiming its territory. As the philosopher Michel de Montaigne wrote, "Lend yourself to others, but give yourself only to yourself." Stop apologizing for your back shop. Close the door. Light the fire. And remember that the most important conversation you will ever have is the one happening in the silence. Tell me in the comments, what does your back shop look like? What is the one hobby or thought that is for your eyes only? I read every one. If Montaigne's method rewired your perspective, consider subscribing. Let's master the mind together. Thank you for watching.